I've actually no idea where I was standing at the end.
Yeah.
At some point it was there.
He's gonna bring that shirt with me. I did not.
I brought I have 4 different phenomenal shirts. I get questions every time I walk on campus. It's good. Where else can you wear this stuff?
Joining us.
Who's joining us? Who is?
David Mitchell.
David Mitchell!
But that's exciting.
Have fun?
David Mitchell.
Like, I am keenly aware of my body's limits this week.
You right?
No. It's
What's that?
It is. I woke up feeling like I got no rest whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the fibro flare is just like, I just
Yeah. Totally get it.
I think it's just, like I'm trying to like sit with the reality of how much else I'm going to miss this week. Because 2 minutes prioritizing this one year.
Yeah, yeah.
This narrative of Adam Bog, if I do nothing else, it'll still have been a success.
Yeah. I know. I haven't been in since last weekend, just so I can like focus on this. I try to sleep in so I can get some rest.
I'm really glad I have to stay there because I'm probably I was like, we're gonna say, hey,
First stand, you're sitting on a chair, and you your experience. Are you loving the love? Suck it up. It's the shit that heals, baby. It really is. It's like, that's a vessel for Vaserino. And there was a chorus once upon a time in Minneapolis that decided they wanted to go to New Orleans and do some stuff together that was really super cool.
leave my foam roller there and make foam roll spontaneously.
Hi.
Not yet, maybe later.
Somebody needs to break sticks.
There's a mouse, small driving car. Parallel with them.
She's driving a Honda Civic.
She's driving the confidence bus.
Hi.
Hi, Mo.
Hi, peeps. Hey. Okay, is everybody here? Who are we missing? Are we missing anybody? Yeah. I don't like to single. If you don't want to be singled out, please raise your hand. Right. What's next one?
There's a David Mitchell.
I did
David Mitchell is here. Hey, pal. It's good to see you.
He just unmutes himself for that.
Right, he just unmutes.
Guys.
The D goes back.
Yeah. He's good. He's our low note specialist.
Where's the camera so they don't get in the way of it? Oh, okay.
You can be right here. So, David, we have our coaches are going to try to remember to be in screen for you, so you can see them speaking from here. And if you see us drag people in, it's because they've forgotten that the camera is right here. But this is Marty Lovick,
I'm the designated draggy.
and that's David, who
Hello,
couldn't be
David.
here with
Yes,
us,
hello.
but he's in Minneapolis.
Wonderful.
All right. So things have changed since he heard us last. Is that correct?
And now.
How are we feeling vocally? Do we need to do a warm up? We're good? You want to go straight in? Oh, just do your own quick 1 minute warm up and go.
Nice with the risers. It's
I know,
like
finally,
a whole
right?
different. It's like you're like the last kid's picked.
I know. Like, we are the bad news bears. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, no, yeah, I love the space. I might move it up.
My voice is kind of
Is this chorus or Tyler's?
This
The
is,
mic.
I think it might be Jim Emery's. Jim, is this your mic? Or is it Pep's? It's Pep's.
Oh, Peps, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been Tyler's, so.
Sure.
I'll take it, he says.
Tyler. Yeah, whatever you want.
All right, folks. So how about we sing? Do you want to sing a warm-up song first, or do you want to go straight into W-Lad? Willad, as I call it.
The first one, but yeah, both.
Warm-up song. How about, can we just shift over? We're really packed here. Shift over a little bit. Center riser is actually right around here. If you can see, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So Nate should be in the center of that riser pretty much. There we go. There we go. And afford yourself a little bit of space. You know? Afford yourself a little bit of space. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. All right. Dear friends, let's sing the warm-up song.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
He's closing the door.
I wanted to sing the other one.
Yeah.
I'll be back with the other song.
I'll be back as soon as you start. Let's get that one more time. So, pitch. Can I just hear the basses first? Pitch. Here you go. I'll skate. Okay, I think I know what's happening. So as the through comes down, the basses, you're starting to gravitate away from the clash that's being created. Okay, so you need to
Embrace the clash.
not be dragged down by the gravity coming to you. It's odd, we usually don't do that, but let's try it again. highlight some really nice moments in there for a one-up. So we kind of did a riser placement. We need to change some things up because we got Tom back in the mix here. Kyle, what part are you singing on this?
Bass.
You're singing bass on this? Okay. Mina and Tom, could you please switch places?
Bye, Tom. Hi, Tom.
Oh.
Left Twix, right Twix.
I am standing up.
Standing up, right? Can we just try that, a little bit of that again, just so I can hear the balance before we unleash Marty on us? And just a word of warning, sorry about that. A word of warning, I might want to switch you two on this just for this song. But if I sort of do it in the middle of the song, please do it. Okay. Much better, hey?
Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. That's wonderful stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
This
That
is
was
great. I'm
lovely.
glad we've got room to breathe, room to move. There is a place. Sorry, there's a place in the song where you go towards the end and it's a unison note.
Yeah, it's
No, and that's yeah. Is it share?
Yeah.
Is it an octave
the
share?
whole thing, that whole line is unison.
It's unison octave.
Okay. So the point.
Octave, then unison.
Yeah.
The point being the octave then to the unison, I mean, you were so locked that there's something a lot more happening than good vocal pedagogy. And I thought about that when I heard it yesterday, and it's more clear now. If I do the left brain description, it's that we start with, it feels like we start with one voice, and that one voice then splits into four parts, but it's still the same voice. And the truth of the matter is, when you get to there, the one voice, there it is again. Second thing is that go around here was so reminiscent of Singers Unlimited, which is one of Perling's second group. Bonnie Herman was the singer, the melody singer, and I swear that you were channeling Bonnie Herman.
Wow.
It was stunning work, stunning work. The third thing is, I said, what kind of a group is this? And I thought, well, if the masks came off, they would probably be, they could be coached to engage more, and all that's true. But this is like a boutique project.
We're a boutique chorus.
So, right, and let me say that this is a good thing. Let me say this is a good thing. For every band that Steve Winwood was in, he was in a band that nobody knew. Right? And it was the same with rock bands, it was the same with blues, it was the same. These are bands that people got together to do their thing because they were simpatico. So simpatico is the vision of this group, I believe. I don't know where it's going to go personally during this week with respect to performance, but I know that it's going to be different than what I share I believe, with other choruses. Because it's your vision. I have to be here for your vision. And you're giving it to me. So if I make mistakes along the way, or if you say, I don't think one, just let me know. But I'm going to go with my gut on this. And I will also tell you that last night, I worked with Vocal Standard, and they have a song that they just blew it right out of the park. It was like the most stunning thing I've heard from Treble Ensemble in a long time in that room. And they sang it, and they look, okay, what are we going to work on? And I said, we're not going to work on this. I'm not good enough right now to give you anything more than what you just gave all of us.
Sweet.
That's, so I would love to get to that point with you guys.
So would we.
Okay? I think you can do that.
Accepted.
Challenge accepted.
We shall make it so.
Yeah, so if I work it right, I can get fired because I can't give anybody anything.
That's what all coaches
There
try
we go.
to do.
Bye-bye. I worked my way out of a job.
That's what you want to do?
So you also know they're singing without masks right now. They have been for some time.
What's the difference?
It is a difference.
It is a
but-
difference, but I also coached a chorus in Halifax that had never scored higher than like a 74 or 5, and a treble chorus and HI chorus, and they had been working like you guys on Zoom all through the pandemic, and they had one live practice before I showed up for a 4-day coaching stint. And it was like, you know how when you turn on the radio, sometimes the song is, radios, we have them still,
Kinda
don't we?
hear it.
You turn it on and the song might be in the middle of the song. The song doesn't start because you turned on the radio. That's what it sounded like to them. It was like they had never been apart. And by the time we were finished, it was like absolutely stunning. Because they had done the kinds of things you guys have done in terms of preparation. Who are we? What are we doing? What are our songs? And then it made it very easy, right? Makes it very easy because good ensembles can make coaches look good. So here's what I want to do. I want to learn from you guys. All right? So I'm going to ask you some questions to help me learn. Partly what I'm going to learn about is who you are, your humanity. But you're showing it to me already, and so don't worry about the masks. The masks are not in the way of your humanity. All right? Yeah.
So let's dive into Won't Last a Day Without You. Without you all. More time with that do. So let's just really get with that. Remember this thing, the direction. It's also that thing with the pitch. Right? So you ready? And okay, here we go. Ready to go.
This is going to be elementary music theory, because that's all I know. The purpose of an introduction is to help me with this. Introduce. There's a good word.
Wow.
Introducing the song.
And
Ladies and gentlemen, the song. So, the introduction should lead us to the song. I believe that you can do that Lulu in such an introductory manner that when we hear the first words, the audience would say, those are the right words. Right now, it's very pretty, it's very singing, lovely, 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 but it's not acting as that kind of an introduction. We've had a lot of people complaining lately, just have to get a Facebook account and you'll see it, about all this music, all these songs in barbershop and all this Lulu and la la la, and I say to people, have you never heard any other kind of music in your life?
Have you never played the bass?
Exactly. But many times we get used to. I'll do the song when I get to the lyrics. I'll do this. I'll do that. We want to let this thing develop. So if you can picture what's going on musically through that Lulu that leads us to, boom. Here's the song, and then the bass has the first do, right? Day, and it's possibly the most difficult thing to do and be lovely. But the Lulu is promising loveliness, and then a little technical problem, and then we're into the song. That's sort of what comes across. And then the singing is excellent. It's fabulous. So if we can try to focus more on that Lulu, and then we go to that. And basses, it's not about being a bass note. It's about being the musical expression that they need. So you need to have the glue to maintain the Lu there and the kind of an ooh feeling.
Could I add what you just inspired in my brain?
Of course.
When you were saying about getting the Lus to set up the words, what I'm thinking of is, okay, like we sing Lus all the time while the leads are saying words, right? We do this in other songs, and we try very much to emote what the leads are saying while they have words and we don't. So, but what I'm trying to think of here is, what would I be emoting if there were a story present that would enforce the story that we're about to talk about? Right?
Absolutely.
Like, what would inspire us to even have to tell this story?
Right.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the person that I'm saying this to, and what kind of conversation could we be having that would make me say, day after day, I'm gonna popcorn over to Justin.
Can I add on to that from the other side, which is, if you're one of those people that has trouble with a story and all of these things, maybe
Use
a
your
little bit
own.
more left-brain thinker, maybe think of it as the do-do-dos. Remember the snake? This is where we are starting to pull that back. We're
I love
starting to
it.
set that tension. And so feel that energy just start to build in through the do's.
So
Because that first little strike is the bass's just little.
So how we integrate information, that's an awesome thing. Both of those will more eloquently discuss what I was trying to get at. But as Baz said, there's something that happens before.
What
Something
inspired
happens
you to
before.
wanna have to
What
sing this song?
inspired you to want to go Lulu that? And I think of it as the pictures of a movie of these two people are together in some kind of a situation, and one of them is going to turn and I think it's okay for me to now go down this pathway, and then the orchestration starts behind us.
We're the soundtrack of your
Yeah,
life.
exactly, the soundtrack. And so that's the Lulu, that's the introductory kind of stuff, and it sets it up, and the lighting has come in, and everybody's looking at the right thing. That's what the audience can see and feel.
Can I add something to what you're saying?
Of course.
So when I arranged that bass pickup there at the beginning, instead of going for the high note, the reason I picked the low one is because I wanted the day to be dawning. So I wanted it to feel like, I always have this image when I have this. I remember the first time I went to the Grand Canyon, and I got there early before the sunrise, and I found a ledge, and I sat literally on the ledge So there's nothing but the Grand Canyon, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for that little sliver of sun. You could see the sky lighting and getting the colors were coming, but I just wanted to see that actual break of the light just coming up on the other side of that from, here's the Grand Canyon just suddenly breaking above the earth, so I can see that first sliver of light, and that's what it is.
So basis, can we sort of line up the body feeling of this a little bit? Can you just disclose that note to us? I can't sing it that low, but
Some of us can.
if you can, physically, I would like the basis once just to be like the flowering.
It's the beams of light coming up from
Here
the
we are.
sun.
All right. And it's not just day, and then it's almost like the melody is. What are the bass? Give me the bass notes on day and then. Yeah. Okay. So I'd like you to pretend that is actually the melody for a little while, rather than a pickup note and then joining a chord. Okay. So it's like a little counter melody against the
The
leads.
dawning is the reason that it steps up.
There we go.
Day after day. That's the dawning feeling.
Yes.
Oh, and for your sunrise metaphor, the do-do-dos are all those lights and the stuff before it peaks up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at this.
The
Teamwork
thinking
makes the
out
dream
loud.
work. Here we go.
Full circle.
So great.
Okay, that's splendid. Some incredible work on the tenors just towards the end there. I mean, I'm telling you, it was. I mean, the chart is interwoven, right? It's giving it. It's all this inclusion. I originally had thought that the song was. Don't be so crass as to say to cheer somebody else up, but it was other focused. And it's not. But it's also not, what's that saying? You can, thinking less of myself, not thinking less of myself, but thinking of myself less. Right? So it's not like poor me, it's not like, this kind of stuff. So it's like you are this is a maturity place that you're at. And you're not saying to this person, would you look after me? But what you are saying is, you do look after me just by how you are.
It's a mitzvah.
There we go.
It's a mitzvah.
Right.
It's calling your partner at 7 a.m. when she's in a central time zone and it's 6 a.m. to say my Uber didn't turn up to the airport and I am freaking out because I'm neurodivergent and I have anxiety and I need you to talk me through this. And that person, having had like 2 hours of sleep, talks you through how you're gonna make it to the other side so you can catch your plane. That's what it is.
Just as a general example.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't know, we are
Get
goals.
you kind of
So-
in place.
I
I think it is.
that's my story for this.
I love it. I'm using that too.
And so what we're also doing here is implying that you are here for that person. There's an implication, right? Because what we're, when you honor somebody, when you really respect and honor somebody's humanity by describing it, how they are for you, they're going to feel the same way. And I think the most important thing for us to get as barbershoppers, as volunteer singers, that most barbershoppers don't get, is that there is a person or people in that audience who says, I could never get onto those risers and do what these people are doing, to be so open, so musical and all this, because I'm too damaged.
But isn't our job to help
To
somebody
help,
else feel less alone today?
so if your goal is to say to that person,
Right.
I'm you. Been there, done that, possibly might do it again, unfortunately, because what the heck, I'm a slow learner. But so all of this kind of stuff, I think, is for you guys, for this group to understand, I think more than any other, that it's about that person, because when you're other-centered, you can just be. There's no pressure on to prove or impress or do something. And that person out there will feel seen. That is probably, I think, the most, all the issues we have in the world, it's terrible, I can name them all, but people don't feel part of. That either because they don't feel that way, or in many cases have been made not to feel part of. And your thing is to say, I see you, I honor you, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So this is a very active delivery of that message, rather than just a project where we love singing it and it's wonderful, it's awesome. What is our intent? What's our focus in the acting world? What's our focus? What's our action?
Is it active? Is it an active vulnerability?
Yeah.
Like active vulnerability,
Yes.
not receptive
Yeah.
vulnerability, but
So if you look at if you look at compelling performances, Streisand, where it's vulnerable as anything, but still is giving. That's the deal. It's a gift you have to give. So wrap all of that up and make that part of the music, part of your raison d'etre. Because I will say, now that we're here and it's going to take too much money to kick me out, you can very easily fall into the incredible camaraderie of the project. But I'd like to find ways this week for you to take what was the spiritual reason for this and give it to the audience. That, I think, is a gift. That is so much more of an artistic concept than Mary's under the exit sign, and there's the spot, there's the old mill, and all that kind of nonsense.
not even.
You know what I mean? And there's people out there busting their trying to figure all that stuff, and it's just low-hanging fruit that doesn't bear any, that does not
Juice.
blossom. Yeah. Okay, so can we make a decision that it's about somebody out there? Because here's the bottom line. No matter how badly you work and how hard you work at telling the audience how you feel, according to a lot of people in musical theater and other kinds of acting, the audience doesn't give a damn about how you feel. They care about how they feel. Bingo. So attend to them.
Give them permission to feel themselves.
That's right. Because they're not getting it anywhere else.
It's fine. It's fine.
And guess what? You feel better about yourself. Those of us who have, some of us actually have low esteem. Some of us have imposter syndrome. You know, I don't think I'm good enough. I can't believe it. I'm here. What the heck? But now that we're here, why not? Let it stick in. But that's us.
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. That's more lovely. That's gorgeous. That's more lovely. Yes. I must face a world of strangers where I don't belong. I'm not that strong. It's nice to know that there's someone I can turn to who will always care. You're always there. Take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you, without you. So many times when the city seems to be without a friendly face. Okay, awesome. Awesome. That is
So many highlights in there.
just amazing. Does it feel different to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because these are shades. These are gradations. This is not like something magic and then boom. Well, how does it feel different?
Connected, more connected, both to each other and to Mo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a smoother feel and a more responsive feel to the record.
Right.
There's a homogeneous, all as one
Right.
feel for me.
I felt more of the intentional giving of the vulnerability
Yeah.
than I had
Yeah.
previously.
Yeah.
Like I was vulnerable before, but now it's like I am intentionally using this as a gift that somebody else might benefit.
That
It's
is-
a superpower.
That is, and that's, that is the lot of the performer, of the singing actor, because that's the way to do it. That's the therapeutic thing for the world of music. The reason I wanted to stop there was it takes a lot of psychic energy to maintain the glory and all that. And just when we started here, we're at another chorus, we're at another verse, pardon me. And it's a little bit feeling like, how am I going to venture down either another highway with this, or a little deeper, or a little
Mood shift.
mood shift, and but the lyric and the thing sounds the same, because this is a song that most people think of as background music, right? This is elevator music to a lot of people. They're not hearing what you're doing. Other people, when they hear this, will say, "Why the heck had that not been arranged years ago? Why is it?" You know? So the strength in the song is all that beauty and that loveliness and its availability as a song. And what that is to me is you're more available as a group that time around. I really felt like you were being available to me.
Felt it too.
And it's not that you weren't available before, but we had some unanimity on that. Now, so at this point in the song, I'm not quite sure what the lyric is saying,
So
but
many times when the city seems to be without a friendly face.
right. Now, there's things that could happen physically. You could actually stage it. You could actually walk a little bit. You could change a pace. This is the kind of song that could start with a couple of people sitting on the floor and things. And it's what works for you. But at that time, it's calling to say, we're going to dig a little deeper this time through, but not in a, oh, here's a change.
What? Wait.
Wait, here's a change. However, but you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'd like to kind of, somebody got the lyric, the chart?
I got it right here.
Oh, I have, right here.
Here it comes. Oh, yeah, you want to.
Oh. Thank you, yes I do. Or bigger glasses, one or the other.
No offense.
Okay, there's so many times, right? Is that what, that's where we stop? There's,
Second verse.
yep. There's a last day without you, without you, without you. So many times when the city seems to be without a friendly face. Probably Karen, Richard might not have sung there. It might have just been her voice.
It was.
It was.
Very naked.
Wow, what?
So just leaves.
So maybe just leads with an oohing on people oohing on their notes. It's a long jump down for everybody.
We
for
kind of save that for later.
Is it coming later? Okay. So disclosing a little bit more is the issue here. Just disclosing a bit more, understanding that the technical thing is psychic energy. So if your concept is, I am going to disclose more, it'll come across in how you handle the lyric. How about we leave it to you to say, I'm going to disclose more, that will also take care of the left brain issue of the psychic. Because you can only be on for so long before you start to get just a slightly atrophied best.
And yesterday we had talked a little bit about, like the second verse being like, oh, well, did we convince the person in the first verse? Do we, like, why do we need to say the second verse? Why is that necessary?
Can I?
And
Sorry.
the part which changed for me since is, now that I'm thinking about it in terms of the things we talked about today, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's not, I'm trying to convince them, but maybe it's like, I know what I just said is true, but it's
Right.
not I could have worded it better.
Yes,
I don't-
exactly.
I don't think,
Right.
I think I could have worded that better, because that is not quite, it didn't quite get at the depth of what I meant.
Yeah, totally hear what you're saying. A person's not saying, oh, I don't believe you. They're saying, oh, yeah, okay. And we're saying, no, you don't get it.
No,
Wait.
like I did that wrong, I did it totally wrong.
Yeah.
I can see by your body language that you're not quite digging what I'm laying
You
down.
say you get
You're
it,
not
but I don't
putting
think
down
you
what
do.
I'm putting down.
It's subtle though, because you don't want to aggress that person.
Right.
You realize that as an expression, a person expressing something, let me put it in these terms. What it reminds me very much, I always give an example to groups on a situation like this, is something Mo said with a quartet when they were they didn't quite know what they're doing, and Mo said, the person who wrote this song was probably looking for exactly the right word, and that person, they strolled around, I'm thinking of it, yes, it's this, boom.
Is it Jeepers Creepers? Where'd you get the retina? The
Yeah, where'd you get
cornea?
So if you feel, if the person who wrote the song went through that process to arrive at those lyrics, so we can honor that process that they went through. I say process and process, just to.
Translate to American.
Okay, process. Okay, so here we go. That's what we're going to look at doing. We're going to look at coming through that area, and then with that attention to detail. What it is just being more descriptive, more attention to detail. Here we go.
From the edge, from the top?
Now let's take it from. I'm not that strong.
It's nice to know,
So many times.
or from the chorus going into it.
When there's no getting over that rainbow.
Okay, from the chorus getting into it. When there's no When there's no getting over that rainbow, and my smallest of dreams won't come true, I can take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you. Without you, there's so many times when the city seems to be without a friendly face.
Okay. It's also, this is lower actually
Well,
in pitch than the first time around?
It's voiced, it's
Voice slightly lower?
the chords are many times when the city seems to be without. Those chords are supposed to feel like empty. So if I can add to what was been said, I don't want to interrupt the coaching. The instinct from arranging it exactly this way, from a synesthesia standpoint, the chords are supposed to sound like you are alone in a city. When you're filled with everything around you and you still can't connect. And the chords are supposed to sound like you are alone
Okay.
in a crowd.
Okay, now I'm always the right brain person, but I'm gonna give you a left brain thing. When I coach a quartet that is what I call an ensemble quartet, where the lead singer isn't necessarily, that's the so-and-sos, because that lead singer has got that kind of voice. Their stock in trade is that matchedness, real time, vocal spectrum. So what gave them the ability to maintain that and then letting us know where the melody is that the lead singer didn't sing louder. The lead singer articulated better. So, there's
The dental thing from yesterday.
so many times when the city seems to be without a friendly face. So just paying a little more attention to the lyric. Word sounds. All right. See if that can do it. Let's just take it
Dentalizing
from-
without the
yeah.
jaw.
I
Try
can
again?
take. I'm not that strong. I can take all the madness. Can I take it just from there? Because it's the difference is what I'm looking for now, and I do want to sing another song.
Oh, David's like, damn it, you're making me cry. Life goals. I think it might be more successful if we start from the edge because it's a real
Okay.
continuation.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. If you're comfortable, we may only be doing this song for today, if that's okay. Time-wise, I'd like to.
They know who their director is.
Got
We're going to go from the edge so that we really get the momentum and the feel because this is about organically creating our journey.
So the context you had about what just happened and the scenery and all that happens through the Lulu because it's an orchestrated feel. And then it's all about making that person out there understand that you understand them.
Day after day
articulation.
So many times when the city seems to be without a friendly face.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's nice to know that you'll be there if I need you, and you'll always find it's all worthwhile when there's no getting over that rainbow, and my smallest of dreams won't come true, come true. I can take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you. You won't touch me, and I end up singing. I'm singing. Troubles seem to up and disappear. You touch me with the love you're bringing, oh, you're bringing. I can't really lose when you're near, when you're near. If all my friends have forgotten half their promises, they're not unkind, just so hard to find. One look at you and I know that I can learn to live without the rest. I found the best when there's no getting over that rainbow, and my smallest of dreams won't come true. I can take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day. Oh, there's no other way. I won't last a day, not a day.
That's very cool. You guys love this song, don't you?
We did
You know,
it. We did it.
the thing, let me just say that your consistency is remarkable. Your commitment to consistency, and that as it gets through, especially it's a little teeny bit messy in the bridge.
Yeah, we
But that's
like,
okay.
almost never worked it really.
Yeah, and so there's opportunity for that. And then there's a little bit of a shade of what big ass barbershop tech.
Gotta deliver a little.
We gotta deliver a little.
On a big ass.
We gotta deliver a little, but the key is to find when to pull the trigger and how to lead up to pulling the trigger. Boom. So that it doesn't start to feel out of our comfort zone. Right? Because it is a whole different, it could be a whole different model of how you consider the song. So it's just, we can do that quickly. And I think it's not the technical fixing that will take care of it. I do believe it's the combination of the technical, we know where it's lined up, and what our rationale is here. It, to my mind, this calls for a concept that loudness, volume, a lot of people think of volume as loud and soft on a up and down scale. But volume is also a measure of capacity. So rather than the idea, here we go, we're going to go boom, 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 you're sharing so much heart. Can you share more heart? And it translates into some people's minds as being louder. But for the most part, what we're simply getting is that same, the rush of going, of expansion to get more volume. And I think if we do that, it can,
Agreed.
you can still stay on the voice.
Absolutely.
And
For me, it feels like I'm directing emotion, not necessarily, like, and with it comes necessarily volume, but if you can see me, I am feeling emotional about
Yeah.
the message.
Right.
It's clear, it's coming across.
So, this has been really wonderful, hasn't it, for me? I know you don't know how it's been for me. Let me tell you, it's been wonderful.
Let us applaud your wonderful.
As I said, I think this project, this boutique, I said this is a boutique course. It's a project course.
That's awesome.
And what they're trying, what I'm hoping to instill is how can they be that, yet engage the audience? Because there will be people you'll hear from, not people who are as smart as Joe or the other people you're going to see here. There are other people who will try to tell you, oh, okay, but now if you just go down this path with what you're doing, but it wouldn't be your path anymore. And I have a feeling you would politely tell them, thanks for your suggestion.
Yeah, you're right. I think you would say, fuck off.
Right.
Kevin's got a different style.
But
Thank you for
within that, I'd like to have your permission to push more at you when I feel it's necessary, to not fall into the project feel of this wonderful, we're in a recording studio feel. But we want to emulate what's going on there. If you can have that recording, we can have this recording studio feel combined with that person in the audience who needs to hear this message, then it's golden. And it'll really work. So it's cool. Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Al. All right.
When do you have to be somewhere?
In about 11 minutes.
Great. So do you want to?
We can start a little split.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been asked to be a part of another seminar thing today. So Joe and I are going to start, and he's just going to like fix everything, and I'm not even going to know what I'm walking back into. So you'll be in super capable hands with Joe. But we're going to start. Do you want us to pick up where we were working, or do you want to hear the other song?
Let's hear the other song. Yeah.
Could we please do Isn't She a Lovely? Isn't She Loverly? So you were going to try and do a little bit of scatting, and this is what I understand. I might join you a little bit on that. So we can,
I'll start straight with you.
and then we
Or together at the end.
let's like give each other the signal. Whatever feels. Right? So Anna Lee, you're taking a verse apparently. You know which one you're taking?
There was a secret meeting.
I have been told the soloists have worked this out amongst themselves.
Yeah, they're all Freemasons now.
Don't you love autonomy?
I do.
There we go.
Hey, before you just jump into this, how was day one? Yeah. It's like hey,
Marty and
I
Nate
definitely
were
gave it my all. That's today as well.
nice. You're not going to get less tired as the week goes on, I assure you.
No. I've almost decided to cut all of my lunchtime classes.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
make it through this.
So what
what were some takeaways yesterday, even if not from coaching? Just what are you getting from this week?
Almost every single class has been, yeah, there is a way to do it, but you need to find your way to do it.
Yes.
Like, whether it has been vocal technique or how to be a great lead,
Yeah.
or any of them, it's always, yeah, just take what we're doing and then make it yours.
Yeah, love it.
Find your way.
Yeah. Anything else?
I need to throttle back a little bit, I got some vocal fatigue going on already.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with the mask,
Yeah.
right? You can't don't try and sing beyond the mask, right? Don't try and do that. That's
Enough
what
is
that is
enough.
what can
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
Take breaks. Yeah, Jim.
Or talk over the lunchroom crowd for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well
Sit
said.
outside
Well said.
with Chris
Yeah.
and me.
Roger.
We took a class in the Alexander techniques, and the statement was, any tension in the body will translate to tension in the vocal mechanism.
Yeah.
Tension transfers.
Any
Boom.
tension, any
Yeah.
tension.
Yeah. Great.
I took
Anything
the
else?
same class, and I just loved the piggyback on that about shutting off or pausing your autopilot. That was
Yeah.
really strong, especially, and putting it into singing too. We kind of go on this autopilot. So really just being,
Don't press that button on the dash.
just press it and pause it and
Yeah.
be in it.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Let me hear this different song.
You should be. Get your groove on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Something. One more time. One more time on that.
Faces are down here and not there. It's that song.
It's a B minor chord to start. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? She precious one little time. Love with me, oh lovely is she. Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Isn't she pretty? Angels best time. Boy, I'm so happy we are heaven's best time. Oh, God has done. Oh, give life to one. Love remade from love. Isn't she lovely? Life and love are the same. Life is a vision. Leaving of her name. No, we could not have it done without you. Zero one. Lovely.
Nice. All right, go do your class.
There you go.
I'll be back.
All right. Do you have is there a difference in your approach to this song than maybe the song we were working on yesterday?
This is so so
you-
much more physical of a song.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no,
This
just keep reminding me.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
This song is deeply inside the body.
Yeah.
This might be a rhythm song
It
as
is.
opposed to like just a straight.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's also like not barbershop, right? It's like 5 parts. It's got some pretty funky chords in it. The reason I ask is because it's it sounds a lot better than the other song. Like it's no, I don't mean that in a bad. It sounds like I don't know. That's why I'm interested in asking you about it. Or is it that you had it longer? Do you know it better? Anything?
Of the 3 songs we've done, this is the least prepared.
That's
We've had it since 20. We have had it longer.
Yeah.
We had a totally different arrangement.
But we never.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, switch arrangements. This is a Philharmonic arrangement.
It's
I
a
believe.
totally different arrangement.
Yeah.
So-
Interesting. I love it.
There's a
It's
lot
so
of-
good. It is. It's just. It's good. And it's funny. Some of the 4-part barbershop chords that we were like drilling to death yesterday. Like there are far more complex chords in this song, and you're like, it's nothing. This is simple, right? So it's just interesting the difference between them. Let's dig into this, shall we? Essentially, three main concepts. Yeah. First is simple. This song is a veritable circus, right?
Oh yeah.
You don't know where to look because there are all sorts. There's vocal percussion. There's soloists. There's soloing. Improvisation. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Your job as a performer is to control the spotlight, right? We shouldn't feel confused as an audience as like, what's happening next? Where should I look? And I hear a voice, but I don't know what, right? Your job as the performer is to be the ringleader of that circus and to point the spotlight over here, right? I'm not necessarily saying visually like you all go, now listen to Jen. Now listen, right? Yeah, I'm not suggesting that as much as you use your voices.
Yes.
You use your voices to say, I am secondary here and something else is primary, and I'd like you to pay attention to that more, right? That's the first thing that I think can happen, which we don't have to do as much in barbershop when we're singing 4-part chords at the same time. In this, we need it a little bit more because the texture is a little more complex. Does that make sense? Okay, so I think I know that you're smart enough to do that on your own, so why don't we start it from the top again and then intuitively see if you can find those places. And it's, to be quite honest, it's very similar to what we said yesterday. I don't think you have to find places to get louder. I think you have to find more places to back off a little bit so that the places that we get louder can have more impact.
Make space.
Yeah. So it starts off with vocal percussion. So what's the count in?
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Great. Let's have a pitch.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but yes.
Do it in
Yeah.
Great.
1.
Ready? Go.
1.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Isn't for me, oh, child of God, lovely, oh, lovely is she. Isn't she lovely, made from love?
Great. So that whole chorus, if we were to consider, does Mo work with a dynamic scale of like 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 or anything like that?
It's more like out here to in here.
Yes, got it. Is there room for there to be a little bit less while still maintaining quality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to bring it back a little bit. I would estimate, if you can do it in good quality, about 20% back.
Yeah.
But then what I want you to do is that gap that we're going to retreat back, I'd like you to use all of that space for dynamic contrast and musicality and artistry. Don't just take what you did and back it off here. Whatever you back off, use all of that space that we just created to be more musical and artistic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it again.
1, 2.
Ooh, sorry, I'm sorry. Not until Jen starts singing. Right? So at the beginning,
Introduction idea.
boom, right? Just don't translate as Joe said, now sing louder, right? Still be musical and do the whole thing, but be out there until the solo starts and then back it down to 20% and use all of that space to be more musical. Yeah? Great, got it, sorry.
1,
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than one bit old. I never thought her love would be more lovely as she. Isn't she lovely? Made from love.
Great. Now we're gonna go on. But what if I was asking for 20%, that felt like close to maybe 5% for me, right? Okay, so let's see if we can really explore going a little bit further with that than we were going before. Nice. You were just having fun. I was just enjoying it. Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? Because we don't know whether there's going to be like any handheld mics or anything like that. So in the eventuality that there might be some handheld mics, the soloists are like way more amplified than everything else. Like where does that leave, this subject we're talking about right now?
That's a really good question. When the Harmonizers were here a few years ago, we prepared like a 12-minute medley of Chicago songs. And we had, just like this, we had like 5 different soloists and everything like that. And I was incredibly unhappy with how it came out because you're putting a lot of faith into the sound engineers who never saw us do it before, so they were on the fly. So I'd be careful. I think that you controlling the dynamics would be even better. So what I would do is I would maybe ask your soloist to come out, maybe use the quartet mic that'll be there rather than because I think ideally if you were home and you had a sound engineer that you trusted, I think handhelds that's the way to go. But given my experience, I know it's a different school, different engineers. I just wouldn't trust it. I would use natural acoustic by stepping out when you have a solo, and that would be the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, as a professional audio engineer, I strongly agree with that. And the acoustics of this theater are such that
They're
if
great.
you perform there the way we're doing here, you'll be clearly heard.
Totally agree with you. Yeah. There we go.
And for
I'm glad I
here-
didn't say something terrible.
For here in this room this week, maybe that looks like each of you just come into here, facing what I'm doing this so that you can all hear.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Right.
Otherwise, I'd be whatever else I'd be.
So any thoughts on timing of when
Transition.
when I should?
Yeah, I mean, what you want to do is you want to get there like 2 beats before you start.
2 beats,
You don't want to get there 8 beats because then you're like,
Right, exactly.
right? So you want to just try and get there so that when you get there, you get to go easy cheap, right?
You're good.
So it might require a few times through to just figure out the timing and all of
You
that.
have it easy because you just have a 4-bar intro. And there you are.
But listen, I wouldn't obsess over, like we can figure that out when we're closer to
Totally,
performance.
but the general idea I think is thank you.
Exactly. Exactly right. All right, let's do it again. This time, let's see if we can go the full 20% back and then use all of that space to be musical and artistic, yeah?
One.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious?
That's so much better. So much better.
I never thought through love we'd be making lovely as she. Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angels best. Lord, I'm so happy. We are heaven's best. Da, 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 da. What God has done. Oh, life to one. Isn't she lovely? Made from love.
Great, let's stop right there, okay? What timing, Amelia, though. That was great timing.
The anticipation.
So, I think that there's a transition that is missing when we, right after the solo is finished, when we go to lovely, right? I think that you're doing a good job of putting the spotlight on the soloist, but you're not doing a good job of putting the spotlight on the chorus when it needs to be put on the chorus, right? It just sounds, right, Justin, right? Justin starts stepping back, and as an audience member, I'm looking at him and I'm going, why are you walking away? Because you didn't take over, right? As he starts walking back, you need to go, lovely, and take that back from him, or it's an awkward moment.
Yeah, that 20% that we subtracted. That's
Yeah,
where we
exactly right.
That's-
Seriously.
Like
Yeah,
I try to
like
be
the intro.
out at that. So I'm out at that. Like that's
Right.
my cut. Because
You're
that's
trying to
yeah.
make it-
love.
Yeah.
You're
So
making
it should be like the intro,
Fine.
right? It should be like the intro where it's just boom out there. Then when Jen walks out, we go 20% back, and we're 20% back for the most of it,
Yep.
right? Until Justin finishes, and then we've got to go back like we were in the intro. Yes?
Yep.
Okay, you understand that, yeah?
Yeah.
The only other thing. There is an inconsistency in the tempo. And I think that it's because we're paying too much, maybe I'm wrong, but my assessment of it is that we're paying too much attention listening to the soloists. Right?
Yeah.
Is it easier to move 20 people or one person? Right? You can
Easier for one.
bend to the soloist, right? You have to be the constant, right?
Yes.
And then the soloist can move to you.
We're the canvas, and that's the thing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You are the big band, you are the canvas, right? You can't change that. So your job is actually not to listen out front. Your job is to be as consistent as you can possibly be
Yep.
on the risers so that you are a rock
Yeah.
for whoever is stepping out to do anything in front of the soloist. So
Was I mistaken, or did that tempo change feel like it happened in the same spot on both verses?
Probably.
it's happening in what we just did. I sense it happening like 4 to 5 times, right? It's happening more in the transitions than it's happening, once we're in the groove, once we're in a moment, we're kind of good. But in those transitions, I think we might be like oversensitized. There's someone walking out, there's someone walking back, and like now I've got to change what I'm doing because it's a new. No, you don't change a thing, right? You lock it in.
This may be my imagination, but I feel like with you, Tyler, setting the tempo entirely on the boombox and Mo not directing it, I feel like the tempo that we were setting up is a little bit slower than what we've been doing it on. And so that my muscle memory wants to feel like it's like I'm off because I'm trying to, and so that's not right. I should be following that tempo, but that's how it's feeling.
Yeah.
We can also try a little faster.
So, can we just hear the beginning?
No.
You're doing vocal percussion, but are you also singing the bass part?
No.
It's
I mean,
just-
I'm doing like tom fills that are bassy.
So
sounding.
you're just doing straight vocal percussion and not singing.
I would say that, yes.
Yeah, great.
That's it.
Can I just hear vocal percussion from the start and basses?
Great. Yes. I can do that.
Just lost the face.
We'll get one back. 1, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, can we do that one more time? And can you leap, jump out of barbershop mode, right? If this were a barbershop up tune, I would say A+. Wonderful, right? But we can't have that in a song like this. We need way more consonant than wall of sound. You know, barbershop wall of sound. This is not the place for barbershop wall of sound. Okay? So if you think for a moment, the instrument that you are imitating with your sound is a bass, right? And the bass, once you pluck the string of a bass, what does the sound do?
That is quick.
It decays, right? So if you pluck the string of a bass, which we could just easily do right there, it goes dum, dum. It doesn't go dum, right? It doesn't do that. So that's what we need more of. More consonant and a little more decay in the sound, actually. Can we have that?
Yeah.
There we go, right? No wall of sound, okay?
Remember the workshop we did a couple months ago on everything?
Don't make me bring my basses back to rehearsal. I will. So help me.
So let's get vocal percussion and bass one more time, and basses get out of that barbershop wall of sound and get more into the imitation of the instrument. And because of what's happening above it, if in good quality without over singing or adding tension, you could be more dominant in that sound. If you can increase your volume just a little bit based on what's happening above you, let's have it. Oh, thank you.
1, 2, 1.
Great, much better, much better, much better. Okay, now let's put it all back in. Let's put it all back in, make sure it balances right, and then we'll address the tempo stuff. Yeah?
Totally.
Great.
1, 2, 1.
Isn't she lovely?
Much better, basses.
Isn't she wonderful?
Much better.
Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought through love we'd be. Ain't one as lovely as she. Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Isn't she pretty? Angels dance.
You focus on tempo, not on what he's doing. Lovely Maid is going to take the spotlight over again.
Lovely maid from love.
Life and love are the same. Life is like the meaning of her name. You know it could not have been done without you who could see the one. Every lovely maid of love.
Great. This is the section that we need to work on. This is the section that we're kind of losing the tempo for the most part. Now, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, isn't she ooh? That's happening without vocal percussion, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
But the tempo does not stop. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to understand that that held note is da-ga-da-da-ga-da-da-ga-da-da-ga-da-da-ga-da-da. It's not just a long held note, right? It's a series of subdivided notes within it that have to be counted, right? There has to maintain groove even in holding a whole note. So is it possible, could we just start right on Amelia's Isn't She Ooh?
Sure.
Yeah. Is that possible?
Everybody was at the general session and watched Kirk.
Kirk Young just drilling it back of that.
Yep. Yep.
It applies perfectly here.
Can we start right on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1.
Isn't she lovely?
Well done, G and U. Stop. That was great. Really, really good start. Okay, now we're gonna break this down. We're gonna rip it apart
Perfect.
and put it back together again. What time do we stop?
We can rebuild it.
Perfect, perfect. Do me a favor, take a seat. Okay, we have
Yes, we're not doing the other ones on the
we have two things going on. First is tempo, the second is rhythm. Okay, what is tempo? Speed. How fast or slow the song is. So do me a favor, let's start from the same spot. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just tap out the tempo. So you're gonna go 1, 2. Isn't she? Ooh, ah, life is. Got it? You with me?
Yep.
Okay, so let's have our pitch.
Without this, right?
No, with it.
Wait.
Okay, here we go. Tempo, 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 tempo. 1, 2, a 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely? Life and love are the same. Life is a region. The meaning of her name. You know it could not have been done without you to see the one. So we lovely maid of love.
And let's just go that far. Let's just go that far. Okay, we fixed the problem, but it's terrible choreography. Right? We fixed the problem, but it's terrible choreography. Yes?
Yes.
If tempo is fast or slow, what is rhythm? If tempo is fast or slow, rhythm is or hmm.
Long or short?
Bingo, long or short. Whole notes long, eighth note short. Yes? Right? So do me a favor now. I'd like you to tap out the rhythm. So you're going to go. Ooh, ah, life is a. Yeah, you with me? Okay, here we go. Or whatever you do. Yep, exactly right. Whatever your rhythm is, you tap that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1.
Isn't she lovely? Life and love.
good, good, good. Hang on. We did this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Right, we're getting frap, frap, frap. Okay? These need to go ting, ting, ting. Everyone together. Yeah? Can we focus on that? Here we go. Same spot. A 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1.
Isn't she lovely? Life and love are the same. Life is a Keisha. The meaning of the day. You know it could not have been done without you.
Yeah, oh yeah. Stop. Good. We'll go that far, right? Good. So we had two things happen. First thing that happened is when we were tapping tempo, we fixed the problem. We were much more consistent. We found where we needed to be, right? When we switched from tempo to rhythm, I didn't ask you to do it, but what you were doing subconsciously, because there was just this kinesthetic thing helping you, is that you were locking into your target vowels faster. Right? Because you were literally, almost like this was a button to sing a target vowel, you were literally going, ooh, oh, hey, right? Whatever you're singing, it was kinesthetically telling you, like, do it now. Do it now. So the chords were going ping, ping faster than they were before because you have this kinesthetic telling you of, I have to do it now, right? You with me? What we need is for both of those things to happen together, right? And they're not quite happening together. So if we have tempo going, and I'll just do the melody because the rhythms are boring otherwise, right? If this is the tempo, there are times where the tempo and rhythm actually have to align. So this is Isn't She? You hear that? It's not this, it's this, right? So what we need is that tempo and rhythm to align in those moments. So do me a favor, if you were born on an odd month, will you tap out tempo? If you were born on an even month, will you tap out rhythm? Right? Whatever the rhythm is that you sing. Got it? Okay? Even is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Okay? For the nice. Yeah, got it. Okay, good. Okay, so even months are tapping tempo. All right? Did I? No, sorry. Odd. Odd is tapping tempo. Even, that was a test. Exactly right. Okay, so let's start with our tempo from those odd months. Tempo. 1, 2, a 1.
Isn't she lovely? Life and love are the same. Life is a Keisha. The meaning of her name. You know it could not have been done without you conceiving love. Every lovely day of love.
Switch. Got it? Switch. If you're doing tempo, do rhythm, rhythm, tempo. Got it? Here we go. Starting with tempo. Tempo, 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 tempo. 1, 2, a 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely? Life and love are the same. Life is a Keisha. The meaning of her name. You know it could
That is so good.
without you conceived of love. Every lovely day of love.
Stop. That was great. That was really, really, really good. Okay? Now, what we have to do is we have to get those to happen at the same time. We have to get them to happen together, right? So start again. If you were doing rhythm, do rhythm. If you were doing tempo, do tempo. When I clap my hands, I want you to switch. Okay? We have to start to train our brain to think of both of these things happening together and not apart from each other. Got it? So we'll do the same thing when I clap, switch. With me? Okay, here we go. So if you were on tempo, continue on tempo. Tempo, 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 tempo. 1, 2, a 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely? I feel a heart say, what did I need her? I need it all day. You know we could not have enough without you. Zero one. You love me, love.
Good. Okay, great. You did great with that. Seriously, usually there's an enormous you did great. You really did. That was wonderful. Okay, now here's the last thing. When we are not doing this, the thing that gets in the way of, or let me ask you this rather than telling you, do you know what is getting in the way of the consistency that we have right now? No?
It's moving our bodies.
No.
It's like moving our eyes.
It's breathing.
Oh. Yeah, that'll
Right now, when you go like this, again, this is just a kinesthetic tool that's forcing you. You're not going to sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Right.
Okay? But that was what was happening before, is that the breaths were by a microsecond prolonging the next beat. And what's that feeling? What happens?
Delay.
It's exactly, right? And the tempo then slows down, right? The tempo is inconsistent. So what you have to do, unfortunately, is build the breath into the rhythmic plan. The breath is a part of the rhythmic plan. What we were getting before, if I were to just be direct, is the breath was for survival and oxygen, right? You can't take breaths in a song like this for the sake of survival or oxygen. You have to take breaths for the sake of the rhythmic integrity of the song. Does that make sense? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go back to tempo, right? And again, I can probably see, yeah. So if you're following the plan, what we should get is this. Ooh, and what I want you to do is I want you to put one hand here, and you're going to bring this hand, instead of coming down here on the tempo, you're going to put it here for the breath. Okay? And what we should hear is this. Ooh, you get what I'm saying? But what we should hear, if we took out the singing, we should hear this. Or wherever you breathe, we shouldn't hear this. We should just hear ding, dong, tonk, 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 tonk. Wherever you breathe, it has to remain within the rhythmic integrity of the song. Does this make sense? Okay? I don't ever give anything to my chorus that comes easy to them. If I do, then they're not learning. Right? So we might not be great at it the first time, but I assure you, if we work on it, we'll get better at it, and then we will have learned a skill. Right? So do not shy away from it just because we might not be successful the very first time. So one hand here, and we're just going to sing along, but we're going to try and make those breaths a part of the rhythmic integrity of what we are singing. Okay? Let's have our pitch. Thank you. A 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2. Well, so you got to breathe in the rhythm of the song, right? If you're thinking, I'm just going to breathe at the beginning, right? So again, Amelia goes, isn't she? And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3. Ooh. You understand? Okay? In a rhythm song, you always have to start by breathing in the tempo. Yeah? Here we go. Again. A 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1.
Isn't she lovely? Life is a say, life is a
Good. You get this, yeah? Right? Now, do me a favor. Take that breath in a rhythmic way. Right? So if you're singing, ooh, ah, right? That breath could not go, ooh, ah, have, it's ooh, ah, he. It's just got to be a rhythmic, almost as if you were taking a breath by hitting a drum.
Could I add to your, you described rhythm earlier as short and long.
Yeah.
I would also add to that definition, it is sound and silence.
Yeah.
Because the rhythmic silence is, I think, what we're trying to get at.
Bingo. Yep, exactly right.
There was a different singing against that because I had to kind of like suddenly catch up because it was in tempo.
Right. You're right though.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It is such a good sign.
Yeah, it is, right.
Great sign.
We were fixing, that just shows that we're fixing what we needed to fix, right? Yeah, good. Okay, so there's one final step, but before we do that, let's do that one more time to make sure that we can feel the consistency of it. Again, this is just a training wheel, right? That we're eventually going to have to take away. This is horrific choreography for this song, right? This is terrible choreography. So we're gonna have to take this away, but still have that feeling of rhythmic breathing. Yes? One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely? Life is a say, life is a
That's it. That is it. Good. Last thing that we have to put in here is the function of the rhythm. Okay? So what we're doing right now is we're tapping what? Tempo, right? And how many beats are there in a measure?
About 4.
About 4.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
Great.
Give or take. Yeah.
What is the intention of the rhythm of this song? Is the intention for all 4 beats in the measure to get the same emphasis?
Oh, never.
Right. So what beats in this song should receive the emphasis?
4.
Yeah.
2 and 4.
Could be 2 and 4. And again, if Mo were here, right, her decision, right? But right now what we're getting is this. Ooh, what are we emphasizing? 1. We're emphasizing 1. So we're getting ooh. We're doing the opposite of what we know is natural to the song, right? So instead of ooh, can we get ooh, right? Leaning into 2 and 4 more. So instead of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, can we get this? 1 into you, 2 out to the audience, almost rocking back and forth, right? So it's not this, 1, 2, 3, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you do with your voice has to mimic this, right? We don't want to do it so much that it feels like we're getting seasick, right? It should be the most subtle thing that you can do with your voice, but we're not going to get this, ooh, right? That's the antithesis of what the rhythm is telling us to do, yes? So let's do it again. We're just going to rock, right? So it's easy, no weight, 1, then a little more weight on 2, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, pitch. 1, two, a 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely?
That was great. Stop. Life is a, right? Not life is a, right? It's life is a right? You with me? Okay, let's do it again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Isn't she lovely?
2, 3, 4, 2.
Life is love, life is Aisha.
Yes!
You know it could not have been done without you to see the world. Lovely day of love.
Yes! So friends, when you do it like that, that is what people call a groove. A groove is not like a cool thing jazz musicians say. It's an actual thing when many act as one, right? And this is what was not happening, right? This is what was not happening before. Now, what we need to do is we need to be able to feel this in our being when we're performing. This is the worst choreography for us to do when you perform this, right? It won't make sense. But if you stand still, right? Think of your favorite performer. We pull up a video of your favorite professional performer, they will not sing a rhythm song like this, right? It's in the body, it's in everything that they're doing, and that has to live in your performance, okay? So let's start to take some of the training wheels off. Let's stand up, and we need to take, now keep in mind, friends, we've done 4 things. First thing was consistency and tempo. Tempo, 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 tempo. Second thing that we did was rhythm, right? And remember when we did rhythm, we locked right into the target vowels immediately. Third thing that we did is made sure that the breath was a part of the rhythmic integrity, right? We had this. And then the last thing that we did is we took perfect timing. Perfect stinking timing.
It's been Groove Central in here.
Director of the GNU.
You made a great choice. Hey, after all, life is a series for improving upon your compromises.
We weren't sitting for the last 20 minutes doing nothing. We were not.
Did I miss the
We're
pizza?
absolutely not.
It's Groove Central. It's Groove Central.
Okay, so but the third thing is the having the breath as a part of the rhythmic integrity, and then the fourth thing is what is the intention of the rhythm, right? So not emphasizing every beat, but emphasizing to and for appropriately, right? So let's see if we can take those training wheels off and let that live somewhere in our body. Some people it lives in the foot or the heel or the ball of the foot, the knees, the hips, even the shoulders, the head a little bit, right? And then Nate will come in tonight and he'll say, stop bobbing your head, have better alignment. And he'll say, no, that's terrible. That's Joe Cerruti said, absolutely not. So let's see if we can take those training wheels off, but when we take them off, it has to live somewhere else. We can't get rid of it. We just have to allow it to live somewhere else in our performance. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give it a shot from the same spot. A 1, 2, a 1, 2.
Isn't she lovely? Life and love long.
Yes. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then we missed, did you feel how that beat went? Yes, exactly right. Let me tell you, friends, all of the work that we did on that section, it works on the rest of the song too. The moment that we went one note beyond, the tempo went to crap again. Okay, So I think we're just about, we're just about done. So let's just do the song from beginning to end, right? Remember, the intro is out there, and then right after the intro, as Jen steps out, we go to 20%. But we use all of the musicality within that, and let's do the whole thing. Sound good? All right, great.
1, 2, 1.
Take it away, Mo.
Okay.
20%.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she
It's got to be musical though.
wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought.
Are you breathing in the rhythmic integrity of the song?
What is lovely as she? Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Isn't she pretty? Julie the angel's best. Boy, I'm so happy. We are heaven's best.
Remember, lovely maid, spotlight, back on GNU. Here comes the spotlight, 2, 3. Lovely maid from love. Tempo, 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 tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2.
Life and love are the same. Life is Aisha. Dreaming of the day. You know it could not have been done without you. Can see the one lovely day from
Tempo, 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 tempo. Nice.
Woo!
Awesome.
Good ride.
Great work, GNU. Thank you.
Who knew you were so talented?
Good work.
Great work, folks. All right. We got song.
Sweet.
How about the soloists? Can we give it up? Good work there,
All right.
Shai.
I will see you after dinner.
Yes.
All right?
By the way, love the
Woo!
That was tremendous.
Well done. See, isn't it nice when you just like release the tension in the body?
Why do it now?
So I just have a lot more space.
Yeah, you can just sit until something else comes to you. Like you don't have to be fancy.
I just want to say that, like, I've always been, like, I always participated in jazz band when it was available to me, and I very firmly always kept myself in the harmony section because I have never in my life felt like I've ever wanted to improvise anything. And you have, like, awakened that part of my soul that wants to, like, learn how to do that. Like, that, thank you for just for doing what you did.
There's do you have Spotify?
I do.
Let me see if I can find, there's a couple of things called Jamie Avery Soul. And all it is it's a piano and a bass and the drums, and they just go over, he's like, 3, 4, and A flat. And then they just kind of comp chords. So it's just kind of like.
That's the way you do your practice.
Yeah, and so like, there's no pressure. You just kind of let whatever comes to mind.
I have never known what no pressure feels like. And I think that's why, yeah, it's just been it's been a lifelong hang up.
And so like, when I'm by myself in the car, I just like.
Thank you for making it sound so fun.
Whatever.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to let you know, it sounds inspiring.
That's so awesome, and I want you to do it.
It's up for it.
If I worked on something with you, I could be convinced.
Right here.
That note, because the chord there is not quite the same as the chord is It's so good. I don't want it to sound like it was the wrong note. It's jazz unless you're going to move from it. Usually you're only
It's probably the 30 seconds. I can't even find the 30 seconds. I can wait.
Just super quick, we can't end it.
Surely somebody in this building is gasping.
Hopefully people said hello and goodbye to you, David. Thanks for being on. Are you going to be on in the evening session too? I want to make sure that I can hear you. Go ahead if you're speaking.
That one I'm totally getting.
I'll have to see. I
Okay.
might have something going on, but we'll try to make at least part of it.
Totally. Yeah,
Hey,
whatever
just
you
want
can
to let
do.
you know there's a bass coming in an octave low in measure 50.
I'll make measure 53. I'll make sure to pass that on. Yeah.
Yep.
Or I'll have Pat pass it on or someone. Thank you for that. Cool.
I already texted him.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for being on with us, and thanks for your commitment to not just half-assing it and going through the motions, because I know how easy it is to do that on Zoom, especially if you're the only one on Zoom. That's
I know.
So, thank you.
I know.
Have a
All
lovely
right.
dinner. Hopefully, see you for at least a portion this evening.
All right, thanks.
Good to see you.
Every time, even if it follows that.
Yes, so on the two, or pre the two. Right, so then you have the like three solid.
So to get to love,
Yeah,
like,
I'll play with
be
more
like
like
a cleaner rhythmic
totally.
Yeah.
Especially like if you clear on the
Even though you go to 4,
Yeah.
the 3,
Got it. And I was trying to go just to 3.
you were
Instead of
trying to
5.
go to the 4,
4 instead
which
of.
is a curveball note, right?
Yes.
So you've got that right? So just happens all the time.
Totally. Yeah.
So
Lovely. I don't know why. Well, also, like I said, I'm still having like a little like hearing
Yeah.
right now, just from my
Sure.
illness.
Sure.
So that's what I meant. I'm like I can't hear
Yeah.
myself.
Which is why I
almost.
hope it wasn't obnoxious, but I was singing the right note. with
No,
you.
I was, and then I was
So you
like,
could
is he
lock in on
singing it?
Yeah.
Because then I was like, yep, he's still singing it. And I was like, good. No, that's good, because then I thought you were singing yours. So then I was trying to sing a different note than you for just a little bit. And then
No, because my note is there.
Got it. Okay.
Here. So I'm trying to help there a little bit. every verse.
Okay, okay. Sweet.
And I think even the last repeat is that way, because there is a false repeat, right? Lovely made from, oh no, it's further. Lovely made from,
Yep.
This is the same one, it goes back to that 5 and to the 3 and finishes.
It's all the same.
So every time it's the same. Right?
Okay.
So if it helps, I'll do a little, under behind you until you get it and are really comfortable with it. And even in the performance, if we do this on the performance,
Yeah.
I can sort of gently do that on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one because they won't miss much of the 7 anyway. And
Yeah.
if Leichter's singing it and
Totally.
Nate's singing it,
And also, like, I have the learning track pulled back up on my.
Well, what I didn't do, and I had a note a week ago to check, is I don't know if the learning track's right.
Well, I think this is how I got into this fucking thing.
Maybe.
Because I usually learn
Yeah.
by listening first.
Yeah.
Then I look, this is why sometimes I end up singing a lot of baritone notes accidentally. Just because of how I hear it. So, yes, there is something with that for sure.
I should check the bass learning track and see if it's right. If you have it handy there.
I do.
We can actually listen to it.
Yeah, I just downloaded that, so. Files. I mean, not for
Now,
music, but
now-
this.
I'm curious about the other basses. I think the fact that you and Mr. Absence, David, have been arguing about this. I'm hopeful he's okay on his.
It's not this is what we were arguing on.
Okay. Then it comes to curveball note. Now we're gonna go back to the pattern.
Lovely made from.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the track is okay.
I think it is.
Good, good. All right. You're right, though. I think you've been singing that other note all along.
The whole fucking time. Like, I mean.
So you've burned into muscle memory like crazy.
Which, 100%. No, 100%. That's exactly what it is. Because I was like, this
It'd
number
be interesting
one.
to see, because I think.
This is why it was
Did
so
you-
much harder
Yeah.
the first 8 times.
Yeah.
But now, like, 9th, I was like, whoa, it's
So I'm
switched.
curious because I think for a while you and Dart stood near each other on the riser, so we should probably check Chris just to see if he's got it.
Got it.
Got it, or he kind of
Because
locked
could
in
it
on
also
you,
be
'cause he's not a
harder
real-
to do this if we're all not singing the right note?
Oh, for sure, yeah, then
That's-
that's dissonant.
That's why it's so. I'm like, why does it
You
sound?
got you got a minor second dissonant. You don't want that.
No, you don't. You don't want that.
So,
Okay. This is why, like, when we were singing.